Catherine, and I am from Michael's. Go ahead, turn your camera on, give us a wave, go in the group chat and tell us where you're zooming in from. Hey, everybody. We are so thrilled to have you all joining us again today. If this is your first Zoom class with us, welcome. We're so happy that we could spend this hour with y'all. I know that this might be your 1 hour during the day where you get to take a break, a lunch break, hide from the kids, your spouses, work from home. So we're just so honored that you're willing to spend this hour with us. Oh, we've got Nevada, Wisconsin, California. Hello, everybody. Don't worry if you're taking notes today and you missed something, this will be recorded. We will post this at michaels.com/classes. That's where all of our past recordings are as well. So if you want to go back and look at any of the lessons, please feel free. They are there for you. Oh yeah, give us a big wave, guys. All right, New Jersey. Oh, okay, someone gave me a compliment and that is just so sweet. But I know that you're not here to hear from me or my barking dog. You're here to hear from Joe. So without further ado, let's get this class started.
How's it going, everyone? Keep on telling us where you're watching from. I'm Joe with Siser North America. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day again. Thank you to Michaels for letting me have another Zoom class takeover. Yes, Catherine is the moderator queen. That's right. Keep on cruising and letting us know where you're watching from. I see a ton of people tuning in. Today, we are going to talk about, well, first, we're going to acknowledge the topic of Father's Day, and that being not next Sunday or this coming Sunday, but the following Sunday. And then the day before that, on Saturday, is officially the first day of summer. So I figured I would put those two together to come up with a fun project that we're going to do today. And we are going to go over a product that is at Michael's stores that you may have seen, a Siser heat transfer vinyl. So before I begin, I forgot to grab my roll just to show you guys. In case you didn't know, my first lesson always is how to properly pronounce Siser. So the S-I-S-E-R, these rolls you see in your Michael's stores or Michael's online website, that is pronounced Siser. So that's lesson number one. The product we're going to go over today is our Strip Flock Pro. And you may or may not have used it. So I want to see in the comment section if you've ever used Siser Strip Flock Pro. Let me know, or if you've seen it before, or if you've had questions on it. And that is what I'm going to use today to decorate one of these awesome aprons that I've already used. So for those that were in my class during National Creativity Day, which was 2 Saturdays ago, I believe, I did deck out this apron. And these aprons are available at Michael's. This is in a Imaginate apron, so really cool. And this was a project I did on National Creativity Day. So I did an art apron, all sorts of various Siser heat transfer vinyls, all decked out. I explained layering, showing different colors, a lot of possibility, and decked it out on the same exact apron. So I wanted to show a project I did. So at Siser North America, if you don't follow our Facebook page, please be sure to follow our Facebook page. We do fun themed projects every week. It's been like that for a few weeks. And I did a demo last week because our theme was backyard barbecue. And so that week I did deck out this apron with this design I came up with that I'm going to be showing you today with a product that we have. And I took you through the whole process and everything like that. So just kind of want to show you what we're going to be doing today, but on a new apron. So does anyone have questions before we begin?
Are we going to get this SVG file to you?
Everyone immediately right to the Free files. I can definitely hook you guys up if you want. Just let me know and I'll send it off to the Michaels crew and they can get it to you however they can. So, but I want to see what you guys do with it because every time I give away my artwork, I like seeing what you guys do with the artwork. So make sure you follow us in our Siser North America Support Facebook group and share your artwork there. Share what you do with Siser products. We just want to see what you guys do. So you got to promise me if I hook you up with any of that artwork that you guys join that group, that would be awesome. So yeah, we'll get to that. Okay, so again, Strip Lock Pro, I'm using 2 colors. So at Michaels, they carry 4 Strip Lock Pro colors by Siser right now, which is black, red, white, and royal blue, I want to say. So I'm only working with black and red today for the white apron. Now, cutting Strip Lock Pro, if you have a silhouette or a cricket, in case you ever kind of want to get an idea of what we recommend cut settings for any of our products, which is very, very important to know. When you open up your roll of the Strip Lock Pro, make sure you hang on to, see I have a ton of them because I use a lot of these rolls, hang on to these tech sheets that come around the roll of Siser heat transfer vinyl. It's going to give you specifications, and then in the center is going to be a QR code that can get you to our Siser app, which has all of our application instructions, our heat transfer vinyl swatches, cut recommendations are in there, and it's definitely a lot of help. So if you're used to cutting Siser Easy Weed, which is very thin, to cutting Siser Strip Lock Pro, there is a big difference on making sure, or the cut depth and the force. So it's very important to make sure you do your setup first, do a test cut, make sure your test cut is cutting correctly. And once you have that set, your cut should be perfectly fine. And what's great about the Siser Strip Lock Pro is it does have a sticky backing. So in case anything lifts up, it is easy to place it back down. So don't hesitate there, but definitely make sure you have the right downforce and the proper pressure. So I have my cut pieces here. I'm just going to weed out my excess materials. And when I cut images like this, for the most part, on my vinyl cutter, I'll cut it with a weed box, as you guys can see. The weed box just helps kind of keep all that fine detail around instead of starting from one end to the other. So I always recommend to people cut with a weed box. It'll help. Now, just like our other heat transfer vinyls, when you go to cut it on your vinyl cutter, you are cutting it in reverse, or mirrored. And so when you lay it down onto your silhouette or your cricket, you're going to lay it down with this shiny side facing down, and you're going to cut in reverse onto the dull side. So that is how you set it up and then cut your material. And again, it does have a little bit of a sticky carrier, so in case anything lifts up, you can put it back down. Now, I didn't catch it. Has anyone ever used the Strip Lock Pro?
I know I have not yet.
Catherine, why have you not used the Strip Lock Pro?
I'm not the only one now. We've got someone else with me that has never used the Strip Lock Pro.
And I mean, I think a lot of people may have just glanced over it and may not have thought of any ideas of what you can do with it. And there is a lot you can do with this product. And me personally, I like to use it for kind of a way to embellish your design. Now, Strip Lock is a thicker product, but what's cool about it is it's got a raised velvety suede type finish to it. So what I use it for a lot of projects is, and embroiderers kind of hate this, but I always kind of give, well, not always, but when I use Strip Lock Pro a lot, I'll give the border or the edge of my design a little bit of a border with the Strip Lock Pro, and it gives from afar sort of a satin stitch effect. So it kind of gives like the look of it actually being embroidered without having to deal with embroidery. So it does add a lot of dimension to your design. And what's really cool about it, and people don't know this, is you can layer Strip Flock Pro. And that's actually, you can layer it on top of Easy Weed, or you can layer things on top of the Strip Flock Pro. And I'm gonna actually do a layering process today in this.
Hey, Joe.
Yep.
Is this the same vinyl that you used when you did this design on the black apron?
No. No. On the black apron, I use Siser Brick 600. So that's a different product. And if you want to see that video, again, it's up on our Facebook page. So if you just follow us on Siser North America on Facebook, we have a ton of videos on there, and that's actually where I did that, and I go over the product I used there. So same design, I'm doing something a little bit different than what I did on the original one. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be placing this Strip Flock Pro black layer down, and then at the bottom, if you can kind of see it, like I have a contour for the black, and I'm going to actually layer another layer of Strip Flock Pro right on top of the black Strip Flock Pro to show you guys that you can, in fact, layer the Strip Flock Pro. Because a lot of people that have used it have been a little bit apprehensive about actually layering it and actually using it to its full potential. So any questions on that? How do you do a weed box? A weed box is, in the software I have, actually gives you a check option right before you cut it. So it just says, do you want to add a weed box? If you don't have that option on your vinyl cutter, all you have to do is literally just draw a box. And just draw the box or a square around your cut design. And then when you send it over to your vinyl cutter is going to actually cut out that box. And it just makes it a lot easier when you have smaller detail. So when you go to weed, you aren't weeding away a lot. That's a good question. Cool? Any more questions? All right.
Got it.
So we're going to use a heat press today, as per usual. So I have this awesome Siser craft press, which is not yet available at Michael's stores. But when will it be, Catherine?
September!
Yay!
We are so excited.
Yes, and what I'm showing you today, as all my other previous lessons, I always let you guys know that even if you're using a home iron or if you're using an easy press, you could still do exactly what I'm showing you today. It's just very, very important to make sure you're getting the right temperature and that you're adding the right pressure when you're pushing down with your home iron or easy press. With the heat press, I have my pressure gauge. Here is where I can adjust my pressure. My temperature is set up at the top to exactly what I need. I have 9 inches by 12 inches of surface area to press. This is my heating element. So when it comes to pressing a design that's large, it's going to be a fast application. Like something I did on my shirt here, that was all in one press. This design is actually going to probably take me 2 presses on here, but it's still going to be a faster application. So the first thing we're going to do is line up our apron.
Joe, did you finish weeding that?
I did.
The letters looked so filled with.
Oh, down here?
Yeah.
Because it's a 2-color, Catherine.
Oh my gosh, I've ruined it. So sorry.
She doesn't listen to me. This is what I'm showing you guys, is that we're going to be layering onto the Siser Strip Flock Pro. So what we're going to do first is check my pressure. And there, I know my pressure is good. Now, when you set this up, I'm going to try to show you guys. The seams of the apron, if you can, try to move them off of your area, because the seams of either, if you're working with an apron or say you have a tank top or something that may have that seam in the way, that can cause uneven pressure. So if you need to, this is one example of a heat press pillow. They're really, really helpful to slide underneath those areas to make sure you're pressing on the spot you need or the spot you're trying to decorate. The seams are seams, collars, buttons, zippers, all those things can cause uneven pressure. So you really need to be diligent as to where you are placing and how your pressure is. So, okay, first thing I'm going to do is line up my black heat transfer vinyl, my black Strip Lock Pro, and it looks like it's actually going to be able to be pressed in one press. I thought this was larger than this dimension. So even cooler, because now I can press this all at once. Okay. Now for your cover sheet, I'm just using parchment paper. So you can use that even if you're using a home iron or an easy press. It's great use for for a cover sheet. And I'm going to press this down. Unlike our easy and our glitter where you can do a 1 second tack and peel it, I'm going to give this probably 10 seconds. I'm going to press it down. And now what's awesome about Strip Lock Pro is you can peel it hot. Now just a quick backstory of how Strip Lock used to be from Siser. It was one of our, before it was Strip Lock Pro, it was only called Strip Lock. Why we changed it to Strip Lock Pro is that not only is it now warm peel instead of a cold peel, is it's also CPSIA certified. So in case you ever want to use this for baby clothing or anything that may be potentially ingested by a toddler, you don't need to worry about it. It is also part of all the other products that Michaels carries by Siser that is CPSIA certified. So that's pretty cool. All right. So that's the first layer. I tacked that down for 10 seconds. Now I'm taking red Strip Lock Pro and I'm layering it right on top of the other layer of Strip Lock Pro. So this is something that people ask about all the time at Siser about whether or not you can do it. And you can absolutely do it. So we're going to press that down for the full 15 seconds. And that is going to bond that top layer and the bottom layer. Feel hot, and that's all it takes. So here, let's do the reveal. You guys ready? Awesome. What do you guys think?
Ooh.
It's kind of maybe dark out here, but it looks really good in person. The red is pretty dark. But if you see it in person, it's for sure right on. But like the layering, I don't know if it's better in the other camera. Switch. There we go.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's cool, right?
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? Pretty sweet, fast, quick.
People are loving it, Joe.
Pretty awesome. So that was my Father's Day / first day of summer awesome outside project to get the summer season going, get some decoration that's outside of maybe just doing a t-shirt all the time. And obviously with a Father's Day gift idea, something like that. You know, this one I think would go, it seems to be going over pretty well. But it's also to just show you guys, and I know doing videos like this, it doesn't do justice all the time for these products, but the Strip Lock Pro is very, very unique in comparison to the rest of our heat transfer vinyl catalog. Again, it adds a lot of dimension. It's got a really cool suede feel. So for those that do stuff with anything with embroidery, they usually are drawn by the overall effect that Strip Lock Pro has. It's thick. It adds a lot of dimension. It makes things unique. And again, really one of the most I guess, cool attributes to this is that it can be layered on, because not many thick products like this can be layered on, especially over each other. So it really does add. I did a lot of, in the beginning, I was doing like varsity jackets. So varsity jackets for names and numbers, if you were doing sleeves or left chests or backs, instead of having to deal with that. So it's really a unique product that even if you aren't using it for clothing, something like this, like stadium seats, lawn chairs, all sorts of stuff that may not necessarily be something that you're going to wear, it definitely adds a lot to your own project. So now it's time to start thinking of what you want to do. I can definitely hook you guys up with the SVGA. Like I said, I think a lot of people are really into that. I just really want to see what you guys do when you come up with your projects with Siser Heat Transfer Vinyl. So please make me a deal and make sure you join us in our Siser North America support group and share all the projects you do with Siser products. We want to see it. Are there any questions on anything we showed today?
Can you use strip flock on a t-shirt? Is one question.
Absolutely. I use strip flock on t-shirts all the time, but again, it is a thicker product and it may feel a little bit heavier. If you would have done a design like this, it probably would feel okay. Like this is just easy weed glow in the dark, so it's pretty light. But if I had like Strip Flock Pro on here, it would be tolerable. But if you had a really big solid piece, like a big giant image, maybe on a shirt it may feel a little bit heavier. But I don't think I have any examples down here that show what I do a lot of the times where I can kind of mix the two together. And I'll use Easy Weed or Easy Weed Stretch, and then I'll embellish the design with Strip Lock. And it really makes the certain attributes of your design really pop off of your garment.
Hey, Joe.
Yes.
Can you use a different product on top of the strip flock, such as reflective?
Yes, you can. That's a great question. So just like I said, any of our other heat transfer vinyls can be layered on top of the Strip Lock Pro, including itself. So I've had people that even layer Easy Weed on top of Strip Lock Pro, and you can do that. It's just something that it's going to be up to you on how you want to manipulate your design and how you want the two to work together.
There's a question about washing it, which is always my favorite question. Can you wash it?
Yes, absolutely. So I always tell people, like, all the Siser heat transfer vinyls that you can get at your Michael's store, you can absolutely wash. That is first and foremost what our heat transfer vinyls are all about, is to go on your textiles, decorate your shirts, and use them. Now, the washing is an important thing to remember, and make sure you properly wash it. Number one, this is why I am using the heat press, because for me, I know the confidence of actually properly bonding my heat transfer vinyl to my textile. That's number one. If you're using a home iron, if you're using an easy press, again, there are some variables, and you may have dealt with it in the past. But I'm just telling you from a tech support end that the most important part about the application is your heat press application. So if you're using a home iron, you still need to make sure that you get the right temperature, and then really importantly, you are applying the correct pressure for the right duration. If all of that is done correctly, then washing is not a problem. Wash in normal setting, cold or warm water, regular detergent, and if you want to throw it in the dryer, absolutely acceptable. Just make sure you aren't at an overly high temperature setting. And if you want to, what some people like to do is just hang dry it. If you hang dry it, you may, preserve the finish of it. But I dry all my stuff, and I've never had an issue. So it's just really comes down to making sure that you are properly applying the heat transfer vinyl. Great question. And I did see, I'm sorry, I did jump over the setting. I apologize, for Strip Lock Pro. So when you are doing your heat application setting, it is, and again, remember, we're an Italian company. So the Italian company, when we come up in our lab on the temperature setting, it's in Celsius. So we convert it over to Fahrenheit over here. And so the conversion is about 311 degrees Fahrenheit for the application of the Strip Lock Pro. So, I mean, again, you don't have to be exactly at 311. If you're at 305 or 310, you're perfectly fine. If you're at 320, you're perfectly fine. We just, on paper, we say 311, medium pressure for 15 seconds. And then as you saw, it's a warm peel, which is a huge game changer with Strip Lock because it never was. So that's also a great question. I'm seeing all the help crews in. I appreciate that. Thank you guys for covering me on that. All right. Well, that was what I was going to go over today. And like I said, I hope it helped a little bit. This was a project using the Strip Lock Pro. And again, it is one that you can use and don't be intimidated by, and you can use it on a lot of different projects. And if you have any questions on that, you can always contact us at Siser, and we'll answer any of the technical questions. Of course, Michaels carries all these products I ever go over in all of my classes, as well as this apron. So if you guys are looking for these aprons, this is another thing they're carrying. Catherine, is there any other action going on with Siser products this weekend?
Always putting me on the spot there, Joe. I actually don't know, but just in general, go to michaels.com, go into your local Michaels store if it's open. We have such a great selection of Siser product. Siser is buy one, get one 50%
There it is.
Tomorrow.
There it is.
Christine for the win there. But yeah, so this is definitely a great time to go stock up. I know I have run through my stash during this quarantine, so it's definitely a time for me to stock up on my products. I know a lot of y'all probably need to as well. Oh, a good question on what the aprons are made of. Joe?
What's that?
Is there a tag on that apron that says what they're made of?
Oh, these aprons are 100% cotton. Good question. Because that's very important to make sure that you look at the fabric that you're heat applying on. And I've been really trying to test Michaels and the crew by sending me stuff that they have at their store. And even if it isn't stuff that would normally be done with a heat press, I always like trying to experiment with those. But it's very important to make sure that you do some testing underneath the heat of your home iron or your heat press to make sure that you aren't scorching, you aren't ruining anything. So definitely test it out first. And if you test it out, ideally have a couple of them just in case one gets messed up. If not, just try to test it in an area that may not be recognized. Like I usually try it inside out of something or at the very bottom of something. But that's a great question. You do want to know what kind of fabrics you're working with. If they are things that you are going to launder, such as an apron like this, you do want to pay attention to the material you're pressing on. And again, with these tech sheets that come with the roll of Siser heat transfer vinyls, all you have to do is go onto the back, and right here we have what it applies to. So it says applies to, so for holographic, 100% cotton, 100% polyester, poly cotton blends, leather, light silicone, nylon, and sublimated polyesters. Now, if you're working with a fabric that has any kind of those fabrics, you can still use it. So if it is a tri blend and it's got polyester and it's got cotton, but it might have lycra or it might have something else, it doesn't matter. As long as the majority of it is one of those products, you can still press on it with that heat transfer vinyl. So great question there. Awesome. Yeah. If you got any more questions, I'm here. I thank you guys so much. This was a lesson for today. I know it was quick, but just to get the ideas going, and we are ahead of schedule for that because, again, you still have a week to plan for Father's Day gifts. Again, summer is right around the corner. So there are so many different opportunities to kind of mix the two together. If you have any more input or anything you'd like to see in some of these classes in the future, please let me know. I definitely like to make sure that we're talking about stuff that you want to see. And I think—
You know what, Joe?
No.
Since we have a couple minutes, how about everybody go in the chat and put in a class idea for us. What do you want to learn?
What do you want to learn? I know this may be a new group. This may have some people have been on every one of these Zoom classes, and I appreciate each and every one of you, but definitely want to hear back on what you want to see, doing some stuff. See that it's coming in. We got HTV on canvas. That's doable. Different layering techniques. That's doable. That was actually what I did. And again, you can always go back to our previous classes. And what I did on National Creativity with another apron is I did a lot of layering showing this. So that is something I have no problem talking about.
Ooh, another vote for HTV on canvas. I think we could get you some canvas, Joe.
I think I'd need a lot of canvas. Got on dog tags. It's a good idea. Cutting wood with a maker, that's not really my wheelhouse, but I know Catherine can get somebody to do that for you.
Absolutely, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Thank you, Karen. Always was making me laugh today.
And I hope it happens. I have projects down here. I want to do one that Michael has really been so kind to hook me up like with a surplus of wood substrates. So this is one of the many examples I have. And what I like to do, like I said earlier, even though we do have our Siser Easy PSV, which is available at Michael's, which is more of the decal vinyl, I like to use heat transfer vinyl just because it's out of the regular normal way of doing stuff. So if you ever use any adhesive vinyl, like sticker type vinyl, that's probably what you would decorate something with. But like, I don't know. I like to use our glitter heat transfer vinyl to put on this just because I like the actual overall effect it has. It still adheres really nicely to surfaces like this. It's just all about how you heat apply onto it. So I hope to eventually down the line be able to do some classes on doing that. But yeah, these are all great. Keep that going. Yeah, I see a lot of action with the maker doing engraving, cutting wood, stuff like that. I appreciate that input for sure. That will help out the people of Michael's. Like my wheelhouse will be more of like Siser heat transfer vinyl and the Easy PSV on projects. So if there's a question about Siser products, I can certainly help you guys out. I have no problem answering any of those and making videos on that. That's what we do. And then all the cutting stuff, I'll leave up to Catherine.
Got you guys covered. I'm writing all of this down. So hopefully we can get a good lineup of classes for y'all.
Yes. Yes. So
final to use on face masks. Karen, you'll have to go back and watch Joe's face mask video that we did with our Bella canvas face masks.
Yeah. Actually, what I have on my shirt right now is
for you.
What's that?
You even go into your creepy pantry.
Yeah, I do. And I have it right here. It's not going to show as much of effect, but this was what I did in the face mask episode, the Zoom class. And actually what's on my shirt right now is our Easy Weed Glow in the Dark. So that was what the topic was. And it also just shows you, or I go over kind of debunking any of the fear of actually using a Siser heat transfer vinyl onto a face mask, which a lot of people have been scared to do, or they may have misinformation, but just letting you guys know that it is absolutely safe to use Siser heat transfer vinyls on your face mask. And that's what I show in the class. But I use Easy Weed Glow in the Dark, and that's what's on my shirt. And I take you into my creepy my basement, and you can really see it pop off of the face mask, which is really cool. But yeah, I can definitely do more classes on that. That's obviously going to be a topic that we'll be talking about for, I feel like, a while now. Yeah. So where is it? Yeah, it's michaels.com/classes. If you guys go there, you can actually skim through all the classes that Michael's ever hosted. I have like 9, 10 of them on there. So we go over all sorts of fun, different projects and different ideas that hopefully spark some of your own creativity and stuff like that. So yeah, lots of stuff covered, I promise you guys. And we want to keep doing it. So please feel free to keep chiming in. We'll be back hopefully soon. We'll, again, please join us in our Siser North America support group, and I'll hook you guys up with the SVG that we did today. And but I do want to see what you come up with, please. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you to Michael so much for having me again, and I really appreciate it. I hope it helps you guys, and yeah, we'll talk very soon.
All right, thank you everybody so much for joining us. Thank you again, Joe. I promise we will work on another curriculum set and have you back. I know everyone always looks forward to these classes, and as the way the world is going, I think we have time for a lot more. So thank you everyone. Have a very safe weekend. Lots of these videos are at michaels.com/classes, just in case you want to rewatch and make all weekend long. Lots of classes to sign up for. Go to michaels.com/online classes. We are adding new classes all day, every day. So please go check those out if you want to learn something new. And don't forget, buy one, get one 50% off Siser through tomorrow. So it's time to stock back up on your HTV stash. But anyways, like I said, enjoy the rest of your Friday. Have a great weekend. Be safe. And thank you again, Joe.
Thank you all. Bye.